here and go live on Facebook now. All right. We are there. Well, welcome everyone. Thank you very much for coming this morning. Hope everybody had a great weekend. Look, it was a nice day out there, well, especially in the Cleveland area. So anybody watching this in other parts of Ohio, I know I had some family that was on a Zoom call with yesterday in the Cincinnati, Dayton area, and it wasn't as nice there as it was up here. So great weekend. Finally, spring is coming, and I'm hearing more and more, and hopefully a lot of you watching this, is that it's picking up. More buyers and sellers are calling. Things are heating up already. I think people are getting out of the house. They're really wanting to get things going in real estate. So hopefully you watching this, and I know there's a lot of agents out there that things are starting to heat up. So today I'll get this started here and share my screen with you. Here we go, share screen. We'll start the presentation. There we go. So day 11 of 20. So today we're going to be talking a little bit about objection handling, things that are happening. Obviously, we've had some objections and things that are happening with buyers and sellers over the last several weeks, months already, that agents had to kind of pivot and think of different ways and how to react to that. So that's kind of the topic of today. But today, remember, stretch out, get ready for the day. You know, we're going to get ready to get a productive day, make some calls, send some texts, get some appointments, find some buyers, you know, get your sellers ready. Prep for your day, get focused, because it's going to be a productive day for a lot of you, and hopefully all of you, that at the end of the day, you're going to go, wow, I can't believe I got through more than I would have normally got through last week. So always build on it. Try to keep track of what you're doing every day. How many calls, how many people you're connecting to, how many Facebook messages. So keep track. It's the most important thing about building, growing, and anything you do is keeping track of how far you're coming. And it doesn't have to be, again, appointments. It doesn't have to be your ultimate goal of sales. You have to start with the first things first of communication and contacting people. You know, make sure you're making those calls in that workout. And of course, at the end of the day, where when you ever stop the work for the day, is reflect and make sure that you did what you wanted to do and prepare for the next day. So today, the first slide and the motivation of today is, as you help others succeed, you become more successful yourself. I'm going to relate this to real estate. What I mean by success is the more you help others succeed with their goal, like buying a house or selling a house, you'll be successful yourself. So if you really help people get through that process and they refer you to other people, you're going to continue your success. So think of every client as bringing you more business and helping them be successful in what they want to accomplish. So success doesn't always have to be business success. Success is just at the end of the day, at the end of the transaction, that you got everybody to their goal. Example, not today, was been on the phone a lot already this morning, but had one client and seller, our client and the agent, went to the house yesterday, was supposed to transfer today, and one of the water pipes broke somehow and flooded the basement. It's over a foot of water in the basement. So this agent called me trying with advice, and maybe you're watching this now, I don't want to give out any names, but also needed advice on how to make sure this goes successfully. So a lot of times things happen. So we have to sit there, not to go into detail about this situation, but we got to call insurance companies. We got to get people out there ASAP to fix the problem and pump out the basement and dry it out and all of this stuff. But when people are buying or selling a house, of course, the sellers are already moved out. They've moved out because it's closing, so it's supposed to close today, and buyers are planning on moving in this week. So it's our job as realtors in this scenario and situations like this to make sure this is a successful sale. Keep everybody calm. Keep everybody moving forward. Be the point of contact. You have to be that person, the voice of reason. Make sure the other agent's not emotionally losing it and going, how is it we're going to keep this deal together and keep everybody on track, and the lender. So these are the times in your real estate career when you have transactions like this where things happen and you really got to step up your attentive level and make sure you're there for them, and make sure you thought you were closing today and the deal was over, and now you have a lot more work involved. So when you get through successful transactions, and I was telling this agent that you're really going to make an impression on your buyer, or your seller, this is our seller in this case, the other agent, and really show how much effort and time and consideration and caring you have when keeping everybody together and keeping a deal together that when there's problems like that. So remember that it's not just an inconvenience for you, it's an inconvenience for other people, and helping everybody reach the finish line will ultimately help you succeed too and get more business and building your business. So again, objection handling is our topic today. So today's market, objections and uncertainty. Many buyers and sellers are experiencing financial and career uncertainty and are hesitant to make moves in an unstable market. Own this objection by addressing the concerns and going at their speed. So yes, I've been on the phone with several of our agents almost daily, and some of you watching this, of that people are uncertain about their jobs and they're in the middle of a transaction. They're already approved. They're going to be closing soon, but they don't know what about their job and what to do on that, and kind of giving people financial and emotional advice. You're becoming their confidant, their advisor. So objection handling doesn't have to be meaning objection like stop, no, they're objecting to you. Their objection handling is just like a roadblock, something else that you have to overcome, something else you have to work through and help people. And now with what's going on with the economy and jobs and uncertainty, you might be coming across that more often. So reach out if you feel comfortable yourself handling these situations. If you don't, reach out to your broker, your manager, your team leader, a confidant, someone who's been in the business many years and has been through these situations before. So reach out, especially the new agents that are watching this, that are newer in the business, or if you've been, it doesn't matter how long you've been in the business, but if every one of your transactions, or a majority of them, been easy, normal, everything closes on time, no major hiccups, that's great. That'd be beautiful if that happens all the time. But when selling thousands of homes every year, there's going to be hiccups, and we've come across that. So if you're coming across those type of things and this financial uncertainty, make sure you remember to think of their feelings. Listen more than you talk. Find out what's important to them, what's best for them. And of course, don't give them any type of legal advice of contracts without talking to your broker or manager, or having them talk to an attorney on that, because we do have that, and you might have come across that, where we have people approved, buyers approved, they're ready to go, but they don't know their job. They might not have their job like a month after closing, and that would hurt them financially, and they're asking you that question. What should I do? Should I continue on with this sale? Should I, because I don't know if my job there, they might be moving me out of town and all of that. So when it's any type of legal, of when you're involved in a transaction, of course, they have to give them the advice, talk to an attorney, but also ask your broker or your manager for more advice on how to handle that and what to say to people, because you want to be their confidant, you want to be their advisor, and you want to take all the things that are important to them in place to help them financially in their family. But if they're in a contract, there's so much that we can do and say when they're in a legal contract. So just be ready for that, because we're not out of the woods here with the state reopening, a lot of things happening, businesses coming back, all this, but I think we're far, I wouldn't say we're far, but we're weeks, months away from when all people will feel there's no more uncertainty about the economy, about their jobs, about what's happening out there. I think there's going to be a lot of changes happening with businesses and things. So be ready for it. Keep their thoughts, keep their emotions, keep what's important to them most in the back of your thoughts when you're saying things to them, because it really matters what's best for your customer in the long run. Second today is, or third is, just a nice post that you can use. I saw this on cleveland.com. I love to go to cleveland.com, especially in our area. There's always great articles of what's going on. Unfortunately, right now, it's always something, what's about COVID-19 and what's going on. But this is something I just found this weekend. It was just something nice to see the history of Cedar Point, and hopefully someday, soon it'll be reopened for families and everybody to enjoy. So it's a nice thing that you could post. I'll be posting this slide on our Facebook and sending this out to our agents. So if you want, take a screenshot of it, or you can search cleveland.com, Cedar Point. You'll find this article. Again, just in your posts, in your social media, you're just showing neat articles, things that people might want to see and be interested in and know, in the history of things. And a lot of people are interested to see, wow, I want to see different pictures of what things were like back then compared now. Anything that people click or see or view or comment on yours helps your social media keep on moving. You keep on getting people that connect with you. So that's the goal, just to get people to connect, see, maybe even share it. You could put in the top of the line when you share it, say, feel free to share it, because sometimes people don't feel comfortable, like they have the approval of that person to click the share button to share your post with someone else. Feel free to always put that in there so they feel comfortable in it. So you're welcome to use this post today, or find something that's similar to it that you might like, something you're interested in too. Something you can do today is work on being ready for objections. So this is just one line because I get this a lot in my coaching of agents. When I coach dozens of our agents, and once a week we're on a call and we go over what they've accomplished for the week. And the number one thing objection they get is they're worried about people saying, you're contacting me too much. What should I say to them when I get that objection? So here's basically what my kind of script to that is. You've been contacting me way too much, and that's to someone you've been contacting through text or phone or email. And usually that comes from someone that hasn't replied to you. So remember, when you're reaching out to people through voicemails, through text, through emails, I would say my opinion is 80 to 90% of people won't respond to you. So they just won't. If everybody responds to you, that is a beautiful sign. That it means that everybody you're connecting to is that close to you where they feel comfortable replying to you, like thank you or how are you doing. But if you have a large enough database of people, 80 to 90% of people won't even respond to you. They just won't. I mean, that's how big. You need to get that big where a majority of people won't respond. That's not a bad thing. That means it's open up. They didn't say stop calling me, take me off your list. But that's also a good thing. One of the things that I like to tell agents to keep in mind, if you're getting no response, if you're going a week or longer calling, texting, emailing, and reaching out to people, and you're getting no response, not even a negative one, not even one person say, please take me off your list, unsubscribe me, I'm not interested in your service. If you're not getting any response, that's worse then no response is worse than a negative response. So if you get someone that just says, please take me off your list, stop calling me, you've called me, 10 times this year or over the years, take me off your call list. That's a good thing. It's better than no response. So make sure that you're contacting enough people where you're not getting any responses and you're getting negative responses. I know that sounds weird to say and to hear, but if you're not getting a couple every once in a while negative, like not negative like yelling at you, but saying please don't contact me anymore, or you're getting a bunch of people that are not responding to your text or calls or calling you back, that means your database isn't big enough. You need to have that database to make those calls and make those connections. So again, going back to this, you have been contacting me way too much. So here, this is something that you could say and kind of make it your own. First, let me apologize. We are in a very fast-paced market right now, and I want to make sure that you don't miss out on any deals. How often would you like me to be updated? So this could be something that you say to a potential buyer. So someone that you contacted 5 months ago and say, wait, I might be interested in buying a house this year sometime. Maybe you put them on your MLS, your portal, so they're getting emails of new information of what's out there in market. You're following up with them every few weeks or a month saying, hey, you interested in getting into the market? There's a lot of new listings coming up. Interest rates are very low. If you're reaching out to people and they say something like this, that you're contacting me too much, ask them how often you like to be contacted. Are you still thinking about buying? Also, being apologetic, just keeping you updated on what's happening in the market. Don't want you to miss out on anything. So always be ready for that. So this is one thing you could do today, and I'll add to that. Another thing you could do today is write down objections that people have said to you or you think you might get, so you could be ready for them. So if you're contacting someone that might have said, well, in a couple of years I'll be selling my house, and you reach out to them and say, no, I'm definitely not selling my house. So reverse this on the seller. If it says, no, I know I told you a year ago I was thinking about selling this year, I'm not going to sell my house this year. You can take me off your list. You don't have to follow up with me. One of the responses could be similar to this. I just wanted to keep you updated on the market. Is there a reason why you're not selling? Because there's houses selling right now. It's still a seller's market. Sellers are getting their prices. They're not lowering their prices. There's any situation that you would still be looking to sell, because I want to keep you updated of what's happening in the market. So these are things that you can say to them just to get more information from them. So now also, and I very rarely see agents do this, and what you can do, say you have a seller that say, I'm thinking about selling next year. Right now, you could do the same thing you do with a buyer. You could say to them, listen, I'm going to set you up on in my system. You don't have to say it's in the MLS, and every realtor has this ability, but you say, I'm going to set you up in my system to keep you updated on the market of what's happening in your area. So if you're thinking about selling over the next year, I'm going to send you new listings, sold listings, things that happen right in your market. So you might see, you might see your neighbor 5 houses down might have put their house on the market, and you're like, oh my gosh, if they sell their house for that price, I want to sell my house now too. This is the market I want to sell in. So I'm going to keep you updated, Mrs. Seller, of what's happening in your market up until whenever you decide to sell, so you know what's happening and what your values could be, and you see what your neighbors or your neighborhood, the houses are selling for. Would that be good for you? Would that be helpful information to keep you updated? And they say, yes, great. And then follow up with them to make sure every time you see that they're getting information from your automatic portal through this MLS, you could reach out to them. Hey, did you see that new listing? Did you see that sale? If you're interested in moving up your dates of sales, please contact me. So if you got any buyers, but people that say, I'm going to be thinking about buying over the next year or so, or selling in the next couple of years or so, you could set them up on these automatic portals of what's going on, and it opens you up. Now you could contact them and follow up with them when those things happen. So it gives you kind of a more of a timeline, an automatic thing for you to automatically follow up with them. So when all of a sudden you know that their house is, say it's worth about $300,000 and they're 4 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, finished basement, colonial in a certain area, and you see one that went on the market just the other day for $325 or one sell for $315, you could open up the door to conversation with them. Hey, just want to keep you updated. You mentioned to me a year ago you're thinking about selling within the next year. We thought at that time your house value would be about $300,000. One just sold down the street for you for $315,000. Again, communication, information, helpful information about the market, and let them know what's happening. So again, any which way that you could communicate with them and having a reason to communicate with them is always a good thing than just a blind, hey, how's it going? Just wanted to check in on you type thing. So also it shows them that you've been working and watching what's happening in the market for them. So imagine it's a year, 2 years later, someone told you they were thinking about buying, they're selling a house, but over the last 2 years, you've been sending them what's happening in the market. Every couple months, you follow up with them. Hey, I just wanted to let you know, I'm watching the market for you. This is what's happening. And then 2 years from now, when they decide to sell, they feel that you've already done work. You've been watching the market for them. You've been updating them for 2 years. They've been seeing your emails, even though they're not clicking on them every time because they're not in the mood or didn't want to look at it, or it's not information they wanted to see then. But they saw your constant emails of these new listings and sales in their area, and in the follow-up that you're working for them, watching the market, keeping them updated on the market. They'll feel more obligated to call you, or you're on top of their mind, especially when all of a sudden another realtor, another friend referred them to another realtor, or all of a sudden their brother-in-law or sister-in-law got their real estate license in the last 2 years and they want to use them. But you've shown them that you've done some type of work, that you've been watching and informing them, giving them things will be give you a leg up over someone else when they're ready to interview agents or think about selling our house. So again, figure out ways to give them something of value to keep them updated. So just like buyers, you keep them updated on what's happening in the market, and sellers. Remember, everybody is going to eventually sell. So everybody you talk to that owns a house now will sell sometime. Everybody in your database should have some type of option of date that you think between now and 10 years, something, put that in there and make sure the people over the next year or so you think that they might move over the next couple of years, that you ask them, hey, can I show you what's going on in the market? I don't think there'd be a lot of people that would say no to that. Say, yeah, I'm always interested. So, well, I'll just send you information on what's happening in your market throughout the next couple of years, just so you know where values are going. So next, something that you can say. This is kind of, again, objections. Saying, I'm not sure about moving forward right now because what? Because my job, because of the stock market, because of I'm uncertain about where my kids are going to go to school next year. If they, whatever their objection is, you have to reply and make sure you're ready for a reply, especially if you're on the phone with them when you don't have time to think, you don't have time to, like in an email or a text, you have a few moments to collect your thoughts. But you could say something like, I completely understand many people are experiencing the same feelings of uncertainty. I'm happy to work hard and help make the best decision for you and your family. So, and here are some other scenarios underneath here. So always be ready with some type of objection handling, script, thought, make it your own, because you don't want to sit there and read something that's on a piece of paper. So just practice it, make sure you feel comfortable with it. So number one here, taking the time to think more about what you want. I'll reach out to you every week with market updates so we could take action when the time is right. So that's an example of something that you could say back to a buyer that you thought to say they wanted to buy, maybe 2 months ago, they wanted to buy within a month and they put everything on hold because what's going on. Now, this is something you say, well, I'll keep in touch with you over the next few weeks to see if anything changes. So they might be waiting for to see if they're going to be going back to work, to see how their work environment is. Are they working at the office? Are they working remotely? Are they going to lay people off? So you could keep people updated of what's going on. And again, you have to ask them, what's the best way to contact them, through phone, to text, to email, how often they want to be contacted. Remember, they could change at a moment's notice. All of a sudden today, they say, hey, I'm putting it off hold. I don't know what's happening with my job. And then all of a sudden Friday, without you knowing, their job brought people back to work. They told everybody, they sent out an email, whatever, and said, yes, everybody's fine. Don't worry. Who knows what could happen now with people's jobs, but make them feel secure that they have a job. And then that night, they're back end 100% looking for houses. So you got to be that person, that top of thought, making sure you're there for them and not give up on them because things can change. Number 2, completing some preliminary steps like getting pre-approval set you up for success when you are ready. So pre-approvals are also good, because another thing you could tell your buyers, potential buyers, is that whenever you're ready, if you're not ready now or whenever you're ready, it's best to get a pre-approval, because a new house could come on the market today in the exact area where you want it to be, the price range you want it to be, and we might have competition and other buyers. You want to make sure you're pre-approved and you're already talked to a lender. You can do it from the comfort of your own home. They could call you. They go to the lender's website. They can get it all set up so you're ready to go, and we have a pre-approval letter to use when we're going. I can't count how many times that agents have lost out on transactions and sales because their buyers weren't prepared, and there's multiple offers, pre-approvals. Now there's some sellers and listing agents that won't even allow showings without a pre-approval in certain areas, price ranges, whatever. So make sure your buyers are ready. They have the steps ready. You can let them know if they don't want to talk to a loan officer right now. At least let them know that, make sure they have their pay stubs and W-2s ready so they're not scrambling to get all of these things. So also tell them, save your pay stubs. If you get a stub, make sure you have your passwords to get to your bank accounts and print out bank statements. Make sure you have your retirement accounts and your asset accounts. Make sure they have that ready, and if you haven't had that happen to you before, where you have a lender there waiting because you got a buyer that is spending days, weeks trying to figure out how to get their bank statements because they do it all online, or my pay just gets automatically deposited in my bank account. I don't even know how to get a pay stub. I get this email. Just make sure they're prepared for that. Number 3, moving forward, we'll take the necessary precautions to ensure your transaction goes smoothly. So in this scenario right here, but which I think we're getting past that a little bit now. We were nervous at a couple weeks or months ago, wondering if they were going to have problems closing with title companies and the county recorder's office and all of that. I think we've kind of gone through that, but make sure your transaction goes smoothly. With we still have people want to be social distancing, appraisers and inspectors that don't want to go in the house without a lot of people there, making sure the closing's comfortable. So you're letting them, make them feel secure, knowing that you have the experience, you're going to be on top of things and make sure everything goes smoothly. Because again, number 1, they don't buy and sell houses, your buyers, sellers, every day, especially during this. They don't understand of all things that are happening now, and if things can still happen. I still get agents that call over the last week and says, are we still closing transactions? I'm like, yes, they're still closing transactions. Lenders are still lending. They're still closing. The real estate market did not shut down one day. And because even some agents were watching the news and thinking that we were shut down, and they're surprised about how many transactions have been happening. So buyers and sellers might be out there thinking that they were supposed to shut down too. They didn't have to. They might have just done that on their own, be safe on their own, what's happening in their lives and not worrying about selling or buying a house right now while this is happening. So remind them you'll make the precautions and take those steps. So hopefully today that gives you some good information. 1 second, just gonna stop sharing my screen there, and I'm back there. So yeah, hopefully that helped you. Just some things to talk about, objection handling, some things to get ready just in case there's their job or they're worried about closing or worried about anything that's happening in the economy. Be ready for that there. Also, if you have any objections that you know that you think you might get, be ready for those. Write those down. Have those ready. Talk to your broker, manager, or team leader, or another agent in your office or friend that would have advice on how to handle certain objections. And of course, I'm always here too if you have any thoughts. I love being prepared. I'm one of those kind of OCD people. I think of scenarios before I get into a conversation to make sure I have as much possible. If they say this, I'm going to say this. If they say that, I'm going to say that. If they need help with this, I'm going to have this ready and be prepared for it. Because when you're prepared for that, you show them that you're professional and ready for all different things that could come to you. Also, you know how much time that saves? Because if you don't have the answers, like, well, I don't know about that, let me check with the title company. Oh, I don't know about that, let me check with the lender. Or let me find out, from the city if they're still doing city point of sale inspections. Let me see if the county, with septic systems. I mean, I'm just throwing out things that I hear every day. So if you could think of all the different things as a consumer they're going to have questions on or objections on as much as possible and have those answers ready, you get it done in one phone call instead of 10 phone calls over a 2-day period of like, okay, here's about the mortgage, here's about the title, here's about the septic system, here's about the point of sale inspection, here's about this. And then that's why I feel that a lot of times we get to these transactions like, wow, there was so much work involved because you're doing everything one at a time and not getting everything in one package and doing a sit down and getting all the different things and objections and things that you're going to have to make sure get done. You're never going to do it all in one conversation, but you can at least have it ready there. So that's it for today. Hope everybody's doing well. Remember, use me as a resource. Call, email, text me if you want to have objections. If you have any objection that you've never had before, it happens. That's real estate. I get at least 2 calls a day where the conversation with an agent starts, this has never happened to me, Tony. So what do you think I should do? That's at least 2 times a day. I'm happy to go over that with you too. So that's it. Have a wonderful day, a great week, and we'll see you tomorrow at 11 o'clock. Bye-bye.